Hi, and welcome to HUR at Home. I'm your host, Angela Stribling, and it is music night. Oh, yeah, as usual, we've got someone really fantastic. I know you want to find out what he's been up to and everything we can about this young man. So let's get this party started. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's an instrumentalist, and he's all ours tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sebastian Mikael. Yes.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hi. Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Looking good,
I
Sebastian.
appreciate that. It's casual. It's a casual,
casual.
Thursday. Yeah.
It's casual. It's casual today. You know, I was so looking forward to meeting you because when I first heard your music a while ago,
Mhm.
I heard all kinds of things, your uniqueness, your influences, your own personal style. And, I love it. I love your sound. I don't even know how
Thank you.
to describe, of course, R&B, but
Mhm.
how do you describe your music?
I think the best way to describe what I make is alternative soul. That's what I usually call it.
Hmm.
I don't really have too many names. I mean, R&B is for sure like the main genre, but just to
Yeah.
be like specific, because so many different styles within R&B. I think people are
Yeah.
more aware of like when it comes to like hip hop and rap to see the different styles and subgenres, but it's the same thing within R&B as well. I feel like we can't really put everything into one R&B box. There's so many different styles. So I usually put my music in alternative soul, you know.
I like that. Alternative soul.
Yeah.
Yesterday it doesn't even seem like it's been 5 years, but I can't say celebrated, but we definitely commemorated 5 years that Prince passed away.
Mm,
And,
yeah.
I'm a major Prince fan. And I'm
Yeah.
bringing it up because that's the first artist I thought of when I
Hmm.
heard your music. So tell
Yeah.
me about how he's influenced your music.
I mean, it's just from like growing up, my mom playing Prince a lot, in the house. She was a big Prince fan. Anything she would say about him was like, I don't want to say praise, but just like
Oh, yeah.
admiration, to the
Mm.
fullest. And she would, so whenever she would feel like that, I used to always look up to my mom. I still do, but she would always like whatever she was into and that she spoke highly of, I would also think the same way of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Prince just from the beginning just had like a special place for me. And then his music to me, when I finally got into it, because I think in the beginning, like I think I liked like the popular type songs, like the ones that were like,
Okay.
hits as a kid. But
Hmm.
then I started getting into more of like his artistry and like who he was and the
Oh, yeah.
androgynous, type,
Yeah.
persona, whatever. So I started getting more into that as I started doing music. But he was definitely just somebody who, I mean, for one, I related to him, being biracial. I was like, man,
Hmm.
he's super cool, and I can relate to him being different, in the scope of things,
Yeah.
and also just his voice and his emotion, you know what I mean, and that he would put into his music, the way he would
Yeah.
sing.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness. Yeah.
so many things with him.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, genius. And
Genius,
it's
genius.
funny, you mentioned that you're biracial and
Yeah.
just the culture and the music that you've been exposed to. I would love to know more about that. I understand you're born in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
I think your dad is Ethiopian.
No, my dad is Swedish.
Uh, oh, your dad is
Dad
Swedish.
is Swedish.
So
My
who's from
mom's Ethiopian.
Ethiopia?
My mom
Your
is.
mom is Ethiopian. It's
Yeah.
so funny in the Washington D.C. area. There's
Hmm.
so many people who are
Ethiopian.
Ethiopian and
Yeah.
Eritrean, and they always think I'm family, which I
Oh, they all
love.
think, yeah. I love
I'm
it.
like, I did my 23andMe, and on my father's side,
Yeah.
they were migrated from East Africa. So
That
perhaps
makes
I
sense.
am.
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
there you go. So now I just say, yeah,
Right, why
down the
not?
line.
Why not? Why
Why
not?
not?
Why not? It's Africa at the end of the day. We gotta just be
You
prideful
got
of
that
the
right.
diaspora and
Oh,
embrace that. You
so
know what I mean?
prideful. And I am, just prideful and just learning as much as I can about, our homeland.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about the music that you were exposed to, of course, Prince, as we just discussed.
Yeah.
But growing up in Sweden, how old were you when you left?
17. So,
okay, so you were there.
Yeah.
What is the music scene growing up in Sweden? What kind of music were you exposed to there?
Growing up, the music that came out of Sweden was more like EDM and house and pop things, you know what I mean? And that definitely had a big influence on me as well. Like I actually incorporate a lot of house stuff in my music, even though people don't hear it. It's like just the way you kind of set up arrangements and creating moments and things like that. I feel like that's what house is all about. It's like the experience, like creating, like, it's all about the drop pretty much. You know what I mean? Like people wait for that drop and it's just anticipating that, building that suspense. So I think a lot of the things I took from that, and I never got really exposed to the music scene because I left too early. So I never, I was never involved in that. But from what I saw growing up, it was definitely mostly house and pop and things like that,
I love it. And just, all of that coming through Sebastian's filter, it gives you alternative pop, alternative R&B.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I love it. I guess that and a few other things. Another thing I just really admire, and I guess I am on the same page with the whole fashion. I so love, how a person can express themselves with, how they present themselves to the world. Let's talk about your fashion and what it means to you.
For me, I mean, it's everything. It goes hand in hand with the music, and I always say I dress the way I make music. It's like I use the same part of my brain. I don't know. It's just being creative. Being creative on a daily. Before I was doing music, I was into painting. So to me, being creative has always been. I mean, it's the same thing in whichever medium that you thrive in. So I think you use that same part of your brain, and however you can express yourself in whatever medium, that's the way I look at it.
I love that though, because you're right though. Creative people, you don't have to necessarily just stay in one arena, and maybe it kind of feeds. They kind of feed each other.
They do,
right? I mean,
absolutely.
Do they?
Yeah, for sure. Like I can feel really uninspired or kind of dry on the music end, but then that would me like doing more like fashion things, or just getting dressed in the morning, or putting together outfits or whatever. That actually inspires me in the same way. It's just inspiration. You know what I mean? Like you can be inspired doing that, but then that's going to bleed into you creating music. You know what I mean? So
I do.
It's definitely, it helps, just staying creative and staying inspired and things like that.
And you want to know what I absolutely admire the most about all of this that you're saying? As a young man, people are actually, they do it to us too. They do it to women, but especially when you're young, trying to find yourself, making your statements, and people can be very critical and want you to be, dress like everybody else and be just like everybody else. And so my question to you is, what do you say to other people who are looking at you and, trying to do what you're doing? Maybe people younger than you. Yeah. What do you tell them in terms of how to just do you and don't get off your mark, to be true to that creativity, be true to, if you want to wear, a head rag or, whatever, just rock it and know that it's okay. But if people are afraid, people are afraid to be themselves.
You can't be afraid to get, I think for me growing up, like we used to crack on each other a lot, me and my friends. And I guess you just build that skin, like, I don't know if you want to call it tough skin or whatever, but I don't really care. Like people would be looking at me like laughing. I don't even know if they do it anymore, but I remember people looking at me laughing or cracking on me for wearing skinny jeans when skinny jeans wasn't like the thing.
And look at everybody now.
Right. And that was a big part of me coming to America, being dressing differently and having a different just a different style, you know. And early on, like, people would definitely you know, just make fun of me or say certain things or whatever, but I mean, I didn't really let it affect me too much. And I think you got to just go through things like that, and it's going to shift. Obviously, your style is going to shift, and you get inspired by other people. And you know, sometimes, like, you find yourself imitating somebody too much, where you got to, like, all right, let me get to the essence of it. Let me figure out who I am, but still using this as an inspiration to find who I am, you know? I always believe, like, if you imitate nothing, you produce nothing. It's just all about how you process it into your own world, how you internally process it. You know, imitation is like kind of borderline making fun of somebody, where it's like when you it starts by imitation, but you process it and you find the essence of it and you take it into your own world and express it in your own way, it becomes something else, you know. And that's really, I think, what people what you got to learn, you know, in order for you to find your own style and sound and everything.
And it's worth it. I mean, it does take courage. It definitely takes courage. For sure. Right. Because, you know, I mean, I guess maybe we all go through that. That's what kids do. You tease each other, especially if somebody's trying to step out and do something different. Right. However, if Sebastian Mikael was sounding like everybody else, who would care about Sebastian Mikael? So the key is to celebrate those things, be inspired. You don't want to be a copycat, be inspired by other forms of art, and then figure out, you know, as you say, the essence of it and make it your own. So kudos to you. Thank you. Kudos. Yeah. So let's talk about how that manifests itself in your music. Right now we're talking about, I mean, you've got this new EP, ICUUC Me. Let's talk about that.
Well, ICUUC Me Part 1 came out in December of 2018. And then Part 2 came out in April 2019. And it really honestly changed my life, you know, and it's still changing, you know, my life. That was the start of something new, you know. That was like a new introduction of who I am as an artist.
What prompted all of that? I mean, what made you switch it up in the first place?
And I think what we were talking about, you know, courage and just allowing yourself to be you. And it really was all about that. It came from trying a lot of different things and feeling like none of it was really me. Like I didn't feel fully free and passionate about it. So it really just stemmed from that, just being tired of not feeling passionate about the stuff that I was making or that I was pushing. Wanting to be the brain behind my music and just doing the things that I love the most and not caring too much about what labels are going to say or what's going to work and not work, you know? You gotta just follow your heart and do it because you love it. Even if there's only 4 people listening and it might not work, at least you went with something you believe in. And that was my whole thing. Like, I'd rather fail doing something that I love and that I believe in. So,
oh my goodness, yes.
You know, and so it stemmed from that, and I just took a lot of time to find myself musically and find a sound that represents me, that, you know, who I am. And ironically, it was like I did a full circle, because the music that I used to be into and making when I was 17, 18 is exactly what I'm making now, but now I can execute it. Because before I didn't believe in myself enough to actually be able to pull it off. And
I love that. Full circle.
So now I'm here, and it's like, this is me, and and that's why when I say, you know, it changed my life, is because I realized that the love and just reception that I would get from people would be so different. Like, it was almost like now they really feel it. Like, now it's like, okay, this feels like you. So just hearing those things and seeing that people really understand and like they can feel it now, like that really changed everything for me. So
it really does mean everything, because even as a listener, I can tell. I mean, if I feel the song, if the artist is really singing this song from their heart, if it's their song,
Yeah.
then I can feel it. But if they're going through the motions, it's like, okay, that's cool, but next.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, yeah. So everything you're saying resonates. And that's why we're, WHUR, we play your music so much and we love your music.
Thank you.
And congratulations, you're with Atlantic Records now, and it seems to be a really good home for you. Let's talk about your latest single. Let's talk about Exit, which I love your song. I love the song. I love the video. Yeah. Tell me all about the song, the writing, the lyrics, the video, all of it.
Okay. Exit is a song about a breakup that I was going through in 2019 or 18 actually. And yeah, it was a tough time in my life. I was making different transitions and, just trying to get used to being by myself, being alone and things like that. And so the record actually came about, me and my boy. We was in Miami just writing, and I write with him a lot. Like, he's, one of my homies.
And who's that?
His name is Najee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Najee.
Not Najee, the saxophonist. Different Najee.
No. Yeah,
okay.
Najee. Yeah. And, and he basically, we were just writing, and he knew what I was going through. And we were talking about, I was pretty much just like telling him about everything. And, we, him and somebody else had made that beat. And then we started just like coming up with melodies and words and wrote that song in one day. Yeah.
Some of the best songs come out of the pain.
Yeah, for sure. No, always. It's like always the ones that like, I don't know if it feels too personal. And also, I'm back with my girl now. That's my heart. So, we got back together and
congratulations.
Thank you. So it was also kind of like awkward, playing that song for her to hear it.
Right.
But no, we're good now though. So I'm thankful for that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, you know what? I think any extreme emotion, inspires you to write. So now we'll hear it from another perspective.
Yeah.
Exit. So what's next?
Well, Exit is the first single off of EP that I'm putting out soon, and the name of the EP is Beautiful Perverted Minds, but we call it BPM. So it's kind of like a double
Beautiful Perverted Minds.
And when we call it BPM, so when people see it, they think it's beats per minute.
Right.
But it's actually a completely different. And what I wanted to really come across with that is self-acceptance was my what I wanted to just like the message, I guess, that I wanted to put out there. How we're beautiful people, but what's the norm? You know what I mean? And everyone has different things, bizarre, whatever ideas and thoughts or whatever, but we still got to accept and love ourselves. And,
that sounds very Prince-like. I love that all day long. Accept all the parts of yourself.
You got to. And even in order for you to fix whatever you want to fix, it starts with acceptance, so.
Wow. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, you're an old soul, Sebastian Mikael. Yeah, thank you for the good music, and thanks for spending this time with us. Sure. I absolutely love it. I love all the things that you're saying and how you're evolving as not just a musician, but as a human being, and keep putting all this good energy out into the world. For people who want to find you on Instagram and support what you're doing, how can they do that?
At Sebastian Mikael, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't know if people are still on Facebook, but yeah, same name for it's Michael.
Actually, this interview is
right. Okay,
it's on Facebook, YouTube.
YouTube as well. Sebastian Mikael, and it's Michael with a K too. Because I know a lot of people they don't know how to, or they see the K.
Pronounce it even.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
But yeah, it's Michael with a K. Hit me up.
It's good stuff. And before we let you go, for the people who are just, seeing the man behind all this great music and who are inspired by you and maybe looking for a little inspiration. I mean, we're coming out of something really just, unprecedented.
Yeah.
And people are looking for hope. People are looking for inspiration. If you want to leave us with, if you want to sing, if you want to, just give people some inspiring words, whatever it is that is on your heart that you want to leave us with, it's your platform.
I mean, the only thing I can say is, live in gratitude, you know what I mean? And nothing is ever the end of the world. Always keep pushing and understand that, nothing is temporary. I mean, everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. So, yeah, it's just a good mindset to have. Most of the things that I usually say in interviews and share is like things that I'm also going through myself and learning myself. And I think a big part of why I'm here is to, just speak my truth and inspire people and in that way. You know what I mean? Like, you're not, whatever you're feeling, you're not the only one. There's always people that have gone through the same thing or are feeling the same way. So, yeah.
It's beautiful and comforting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you. Keep doing you. We
All right.
are here for all of it. And congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much. Bless.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sebastian Mikael right here on HUR at Home. Make sure that you continue to support his music. We are rocking it all day long on your favorite station. By the way, thanks for keeping us number one, 96.3 WHUR. And make sure that you follow me too, of course, at WHUR-FM and at Angela Stribbling on all platforms. My show, Pillow Talk with Angela, comes on Sunday night, right after Manzi Pullen and the Original Quiet Storm. All right, we'll see you next time, right here on HUR at Home.